What's going on, guys? Averett13 here. It's been a while since I put out a full-length video. I've been doing a lot of short videos. End of the year's kind of busy for me, and to be quite honest, I haven't really been buying and selling a lot of knives lately. I've become real picky on what I like, and I've been kind of content with what I have. But I do have a few new pieces coming in that I've traded for, and so I kind of thought it was a good time to do a top carried knives or most carried knives of 2023. I know I'm about a month, this is February the 8th, so a little over a month into 2024. But gonna start off with an honorable mention here. The Reeve Sabenza. This is the full size, micarta inlays. This would be my number, like I said, my honorable mention. What you're gonna find is this is probably gonna be an interesting top 5, maybe. But yeah, so if I'm starting out with number 6, honorable mention as, with the Reeve Sabenza, I'm sure you're probably curious what in the world beat this out. This is a great knife, classic knife, great lines. It's a do-it-all knife. It's very classy, functions as a gentleman folder style knife, and also it's very capable, very, very capable hard use knife. So that's going to be my honorable mention. Moving into the top 5, and this might be where things get kind of interesting. So yeah, right off the bat, I know a China OEM knife, but this is a Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon. This one in particular is the, I think it's called the Harpoon Tonto, and it was a DLT exclusive with these aspirated handles, and I really, really enjoy this knife. Extremely comfortable to carry, moderately deep carry pocket clip, which I don't get too hung up on that, but yeah, this has been a joy to carry. It's relatively streamlined, except for, this flipper tab is a little tall, but it's a very comfortable and very snappy flipper tab. And this blade shape, man, this is just an attractive Harpoon Tonto, a very attractive blade shape. I found that I carried this knife a lot. Really enjoyed the detent system in this one. I don't know if it'll show up, but it actually doesn't have a detent ball. It's got kind of a little ramp, a little metal ramp. I'm not sure if you can see that in there, but very interesting detent system, very snappy action, but I've just enjoyed carrying this knife. So this would be number 5. Number 4 is Olympic Whippersnapper. This is a extremely attractive knife. Also can double as a gentleman's folder. Very attractive, very unique looking knife too. In fact, this is probably one of the more unique looking knives that I have. That's a interesting blade shape, and I'm fingerprinting this thing out of like crazy. But yeah, sorry, I got distracted there a little bit. But very, very unique knife. Very attractive knife, but interesting. And so I find myself carrying this a lot, when I want to carry something smaller. All the rest of the knives in my top 5, and in fact, just in the collection in general, are all around that 3.5 inch mark. This one here is about a 3-inch blade with only about a 2¼ inch cutting surface. So whenever I want to carry something, a little bit smaller, this is what I go for. 1, because it's the only thing that I have this size, but 2, because it really fits my hand. I have size large hands as far as like glove size is concerned. And because of this generous finger choil, it really fits my hand really well, even though it is a smaller knife. So yeah, this would be number 4. Number 3 is going to be kind of a cop-out, I say, because I've actually got 2 knives, but that's because they are the MCNE Mac 2 3.5s. I carry these both a lot, but kind of equally. So whenever I reach for a Mac 2, it could be either one of these, right? And of course, this one here is just the standard hollow grind drop point blade. This one is the Tonto. I would say that if I reached for one more than the other, it would probably be the Tonto or Tanto, however you want to say that. in this very attractive bronze atomic finish. Very good knives, very smooth knives, really good ratios on this knife. You've got a relatively neutral blade shape. You got a kind of, small finger groove here. Very comfortable shape. But what I find, and the best way I can describe the Mac 2 3.5 is it's a small, big knife. And what I mean by that is it carries like a smaller knife. Whenever it's in the pocket and it's all folded up in its closed position, it's carrying like a smaller knife, But once you get the blade deployed, you do have the full 3.5-inch blade. So yeah, just a really good all-around knife, right? Great quality, great American company, So that would be number 3. Number 2, Chris Reeve, large and Cosi. As you can see, lots of wear. And this is just a PJ and Cosi. I really love how the plain titanium ends up developing some character as you start using it and carrying it. But this has just been my one of my go-to knives. Almost would be my number 1, almost. But yeah, great. You get this Insingo blade shape, which is a very great blade shape. Very comfortable handle, and it's the washers on this give it a little bit of a different feel than something like the Sebenza. Sebenza's smooth, but I do feel like the Inkosi is just, I don't know, I feel like it's a little smoother. Now, it does have bigger washers. It's got a different washer system in it. But yeah, large and Cosi, number 2. So number 1, and number 1 is really kind of funny because I made a video, one of my earlier videos on, knife reviews or whatever you want to call this, was actually me really kind of dogging the same design. However, it's the same design made by a different company, and that was a ProTech SNG. I since discovered that it wasn't so much the SNG design that I didn't like, rather it was the out-the-side automatic that I didn't like. I think there's a lot of drawbacks to a push-button out-the-side automatic. I'm not going to deep dive into that, but what I am going to say is that I did kind of go a little heavy-handed on not necessarily being a fan of that knife in that video, but it wasn't the design. And so, like I said, my number 1 here has been the Strider SNG. This one here is sporting the crosshatch handles, which I do think are some of the best handles that you can get, particularly because you've got kind of this contour going on. So it's a little more comfortable than some of the other handle scale options. This one here, of course, is in CTS XHP, which I do think is a fantastic blade steel. However, that being said, 154 CM is a common offering, and that's a fantastic blade steel as well. Probably a little more corrosion resistance. I am getting a little bit of corrosion on here, but, I don't really care. This is a user, and I have used it a lot, and it really, honestly, I think looks pretty darn good considering exactly what all it's been through. I've had to slap a new edge on this thing, and this XHP is a very good steel. The design, I find myself reaching for it a lot, and yeah, so this would be my number 1. I've made some recent trades, and some of those trades I'm pretty excited for. And so that's why I thought, this would be a really good time to go ahead and put this video out, because I do anticipate that some of these new knives that I've traded for are going to start creeping into this top 5. In fact, I've got 2 of them here. I'm not sure, I had to step away from the camera for a second. Got 2 of them here that, just to show you, but I think these 2, this is an Arno Bernard Imamba, and this is a CKF Davlis based on the David Lespect Customs. These are two of the ones that I've recently acquired through trades. I do think that one or both of these may creep into the top 5 knife or knives that I carry in the upcoming year for the rest of 2024. So yeah, guys, that's it. If you watch, thanks for taking the time to kind of listen at my ramblings and kind of give my opinions on this. You know, this stuff is just a hobby for me. You know, I'm not sponsored. Nobody gives me any money to do this. It's just something that I enjoy doing. And, you know, I think there are other people who, you know, probably enjoy it as well and like to see a different type of collection. Or maybe like to see what some other people in the hobby do, you know. This is just kind of where I'm at with these knives. And I've really enjoyed, you know, being a part of the community. And, you know, if you guys have any questions, want to hear my thoughts on anything, you know, certainly ask. I do my best to reply to every comment and any and all questions. Also, there's a Facebook page me and my good buddy Dan started called Only Blades Greater Than 250. We really wanted it to be tailored a little bit more towards the higher end of the spectrum. Because we thought that at 250, you're kind of getting into really the more premium offerings. There are great blades out there less than that, certainly, but we had to draw the line somewhere, and that's kind of where we decided to do that. So guys, that's it. Look forward to kind of seeing where the rest of 2024 goes. I know I'm certainly looking forward to the rest of the year, you know, with new knives that come out, maybe some new knives that come through my collection as well. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree with any of this? What are your top 5? Be curious to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, stay sharp.